Hi, Nick Malio with PROEX Food, and hope you're having a great day. What we wanted to do today was show you a little bit of a view of one of our Huskers on the floor. And we've shown you a few videos of these units running in production in the facility, but not often where we can actually show you one, really point out the features and go from there. So we're going to do that today. So the first thing we're going to do is, obviously, unlike a lot of other Huskers, this one does come with an option of a full HMI control for just the Husker and Shaker. It can be integrated into a full line control. We're one of the very few that have a lot of the functions easily accessible for all of their operators to use in a modern touchscreen environment. And that's very important because this thing has a lot of features. I'm going to show you a couple of them right now. So first of all, I don't know if we can see this right here, but this particular unit is set up for our fresh operation. And because of that, it's all stainless steel, the whole thing, frame, contact points, everything else going on with it. And this one is particularly enhanced with these. These are actuators on both sides because this has push button clamshell lift control. That means your operators can get into the bed for cleaning, sanitation, or Husker roll maintenance, whatever you need to do at the touch of a button. You don't need to bring in a crane. You don't need to really have to work hard to get everything open. It's right there. Now, when we get beyond that, like I said, this is a fresh Husker. So this particular Husker bed behind me is all equipped with our PROEX Food low profile rolls made to work great with fresh sweet corn operations. This particular one also has water, and then if you see the blue pieces, that's air. It's very important for a fresh market Husker to have air on it. When you do a fresh market setup, you want to make sure that you actually keep the corn on the rolls a little bit longer so that they make sure you actually get husk. It also helps kind of fluff the husk off a little bit because usually you're going to have gone through a saw before you get to that point. So it helps it to stay on a little bit longer, helps strip off that husk, help get rid of some of the garbage. It really makes a big difference. Of course, this unit also has actuators, the blue pieces that rotate back and forth to make sure the cobs keep moving down the line. It really helps with soldering. And that feature is very applicable for all sorts of applications. So if you're talking about a processed sweet corn or even a seed corn operation, those agitators you're still going to want to have on that to keep the cobs moving, reduce soldering, which means they're standing up and putting unnecessary wear on your rollers. We don't want that to happen. So a lot of seed operators are going to get rid of the air, they're going to get rid of the water, but you still want those agitators. For the processed corn operators, they're probably going to get rid of the air, but they're going to keep the agitators and they're also going to keep the water. That does help with a lot of waste removal from the systems, helps with reducing silk buildup, a lot of other reasons. One of the big ones that I'm going to say is, though, these actuators, if you want to have the clamshell opening, got to order that one at order because they're built specifically to handle that functionality. And one of the other things I want to show you is this little window. I have it open right now, which is why you might have seen an alarm going off on the HMI when we walked past it. But this is for access into the Husker itself. And I'm going to flip this view around for a second. One other piece I want to make sure I really highlight for you are the rolls themselves. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but what I'm going to tell you is our engineers went through and they looked at the way that the rolls themselves are mounted to the Husker. And they devised a way to have them be able to come out of the Husker within about 5 minutes per shaft. And that is dramatically faster than just about everybody else in the market. So if you've got to remove a shaft because of some roll replacement or something got jammed, or you did have some soldering and we got to get a new roll on there, and whatever it is, whatever the reason is, you can get each shaft off, and we've calculated it. We actually ran some tests in about 5 minutes or less. Now that is going to reduce your labor to do maintenance tasks dramatically. If you do have a unit down in operation, we don't want that to happen. When it does, it's going to have you operational in no time flat. But now the next couple things I want to do is I'm going to close all the hatches and run the unit for a little bit so you can see what's happening as it's running. And luckily I've got my camera on a stick. I can do this very safely without putting anything within any sort of danger. So 1 second, I'm going to get that all snapped together. All right, so now I've unfastened the clamps in the clamshell and have it all ready to go. So all I'm going to do is go back to the main screen, and go to Menu, Service Mode, and then switch where it says Manual to On, and hit the button. You see what I'm doing there? This cover is coming up on its own. There's nothing else we got to do to perform maintenance on this Husker. Now when it gets up, we of course have some safety pieces. These are on both sides. I'm just going to do the one on this side for the sake of the video. Put that in to make sure you have it locked in place. But now you have full access to the bed. There's nothing else you have to do. No cranes, no lifts. And when you combine that with those quick release pieces I was talking about before, your maintenance just massively done. And this can be just for any cleaning any jams or sanitation, just marvelously simple to get into this particular unit. All right, so now I've taken all those safety clamps and I've put them back in place and we're back at the screen. I just want to show you how easy it is to run this. So this machine's already set up right now. It's got the air and water off. Those aren't hooked up. We only have it in our warehouse right now. And we've got it at about 60% speed on the rolls themselves. And all I'm gonna do to start this machine is start. Of course, when we do have a shaker integrated, that's gonna start water out of it, depending on how we have the program set. And you can see now that the Huskers rolls are going, the agitators are going. Now, of course, because I'm in a warehouse and that goes out, the air power goes. But this is not a loud machine by any means. All right, and that's what I wanted to show you today. There are a lot more features about this Husker. It's the most inventive one that's come out in decades. Because the reality is that most of the other ones out there have been redoing the same formula for 50 years. There hasn't been a lot of invention. There's been a lot of cost cutting, but there hasn't been a lot of new feature development, R&D into what a modern three-core processor needs to do. This one has it. Now you might notice that this particular Husker is also labeled with our INTELLIPRO sticker. That means it's ready to run and integrate with your central controls so that we can actually do all sorts of reporting on the unit performance itself, sensors on counts in, counts out, how long it was running, any faults that happened, immediate access to parts list, whether you're talking about Husker roll parts or any other sort of wear part or even a more important part. It's ready to go. It also offers you different ways to talk to our actual staff. If you're having issues on the line, get a hold of us through the INTELLIPRO Connect system. We're going to walk you through the troubleshooting, get you up and running in no time. It's the only Husker in the world that offers that functionality. We couldn't be more proud of these Huskers. Can't wait and put into fresh market applications. There's already a few out. Processed corn, it's ready for it. We have a lot of conversations with some seed customers right now on making sure that this is suited for their needs, different materials used, different features that make sense. We want you to have the least amount of downtime possible. We want you up, running, performing, and we want you home on the weekends, at your kids' soccer games, doing the things you want to do. Let's make it happen. Call us, talk to us, sales of PROEX Food, our website, www.proexfood.com. It's all of our contact information. Can't wait to talk to you soon.